Hey, just a quick thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. We just could not do an independent year-round college football show without you, so thank you.
Welcome to the Solid Verbal. And now, Dan and Ty.
Quote, this is from James Franklin, quote, "Early in my career, we always had to do more with less. And then you go to a place like Virginia Tech, and you got to understand how to do more with more," end quote.
Well, look, I think he's referring to
Bravo.
the
Bravo.
limitations at Penn State when he took over after Bill O'Brien.
Bravo. Didn't
Bill
figure
O'Brien
it out in
obviously
12
took the brunt
years.
of
That's
that.
why he's coaching at Virginia Tech now, but whatever. Bravo.
I love it. Look, he is just doing what James Franklin does. I would not be surprised if he started a press conference talking about, he was like, top to bottom, I just got to tell you, most attractive professors and staff here at the university that I've ever come across. Smart,
He's
good
a talker.
looking.
Oh, he's a talker.
Just conventionally and unconventionally attractive from the top down, right? Like he knows what he talks about. This is at ACC Media Days, right, in Charlotte.
Yeah.
How he sought out Frank Beamer's blessing before taking the job.
Bravo.
I think
The
it was Mark
PR
Ennis who was
masterclass
just
from this
yeah.
guy.
It was our friend Mark Ennis. It was just like PR layup after PR layup.
Yeah.
He's just doing it, man. And you know what? His job, like everybody else's job in this sport, is to really gas up everybody behind the scenes to make them feel good, cut some checks. Look, he has a top 15 recruiting class.
That's worked really, really well. They have gotten an influx of new money. Credit to him.
Influx of money, influx of apparently, well, we get incoming talent in the portal, now incoming talent in the prep side of things with the recruiting class. As a top flight blue chip quarterback coming in, is recruiting various states, right? It's not just like 14 guys from Virginia Tech and one dude from Maryland. He's, it's the old, well, what was the Howard, the presidential candidate who started yelling
Howard
all the states.
Dean? Yeah,
Howard
he's doing
Dean.
the Howard Dean thing.
He's in Ohio. He's in Massachusetts. He's in Florida. He's in North Carolina. So, yes, from an optics standpoint, and he said this today too, that they've won the offseason. Now it's time to get going for the real thing.
The only thing I am confident in saying is that Virginia Tech is going to be better than they were last year. That's it.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. I said it in part one. Many others have said it as well as they try to do a preview for Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is almost impossible to project in 2026.
Yeah.
Other than to say they're going to be better than they were a year ago, I think that die has been cast. But this is a full freaking reboot. You got James Franklin, a mostly new staff outside of Brent Pry.
Which, by the way, the sidebar of this as well, for somebody who loves the optics and PR side of things, like James Franklin very much does, he has been robbed of the ability to say, I don't know what they were doing here last year.
I know.
Because he kept the guy.
He kept the guy. It's his guy. It was his guy.
He doesn't get to say we're doing things a little bit differently because he has to be a little bit nice.
New players, new energy, a lot of new money.
Yep.
Ton of Penn State influence on this thing. In terms of returning production, there's a lot, quote unquote, back, but practically speaking, everything's new. This is a completely new setup. This is like taking your CX-5 to the shop and having them swap in like the engine from a different car. That's what this is this year.
That's a Mazda reference, by the way.
That is a Mazda reference. Yeah, I know you've had
mixed
issues
feelings
with that.
about Mazda right now, Ty.
How's your condenser situation?
It's in the shop.
Still?
They told me 2 to 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I got a loaner. So we'll see. I've enjoyed my Mazda up until now. Not a sponsor could be, I suppose. But
is it a cool loaner?
It's a smaller loaner.
Man. No respect. Did you tell him who you were?
I told him who you were. Didn't help at all. In fact, I think they gave me a worse deal.
No. You have to pedal this car.
I know. It's not great. But we'll see. I'll get there.
One of the things that has given me the most joy while digging into Virginia Tech is the mentality of this fan base. And it's you have this from time to time when you preview teams with new coaches and a whole bunch of new players, but it never ceases to amaze me and give me a lot of joy.
Right.
Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to win. But I feel like every time I have tried to poke and prod and talk to Virginia Tech fans about their expectations this year, the response has been overwhelmingly been, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We got a much better coach. We should be better. But that's about it. And I think that's healthy, actually, because this is a proud fan base that's won a lot in the past. There just seems to be an understanding that it might not click right away.
Right.
And I appreciate that. And I hope James Franklin appreciates that. James Franklin is very good at this part of the game. He's very good at building a team. He's very good at raising the floor. He has done that consistently everywhere he has been. The reason he got fired is because he rarely beat any of the better teams.
He had a leaky ceiling. The floor was fine.
The floor was fine.
Yeah.
The ceiling was a little bit leaky. He rarely beat the teams above him, and it felt like that program at Penn State wasn't neutral. It was time. Seems like he might have a little bit of an axe to grind still with the way things went down. I guess is understandable. But
I'm okay with it.
Given where Virginia Tech's been, though, Virginia Tech would happily be stuck in neutral going 9-3 right now.
Yeah.
Might get old, but right now that sounds pretty appealing, and that's a lot of what I have been picking up from people out there. This is an offense that is going to be run by another James Franklin deputy, Ty Howell, who comes with him from Penn State. He is a first-time play caller. He was the co-offensive coordinator and tight ends coach at Penn State. I would expect that the identity of this offense is going to run through Luke Reynolds, the big tight end, who also came from Penn State.
Right.
I would expect that if this works, Virginia Tech will become a destination for tight ends, because this is who Penn State has been. They've been very good at putting tight ends in the league. For what it's worth, 17 catches by tight ends in the spring game earlier this year.
Okay.
If
so
that's any
probably
indication
multiple tight end sets, perhaps.
Multiple tight end sets. I think the offense is also going to look like them trying to force the issue with Marcellous Hawkins on the ground,
solid running back, yeah.
Provided he's healthy. They're going to set up Hawkins with the run, use that potentially to put up some vertical shots, create mismatches with tight ends. That's, I think, the meat and potatoes of this thing. If you're a Tech fan, that should sound pretty good because there was no consistency in the passing game to speak of a year ago. None.
Right.
So you kind of project that forward. You still have Ayden Greene out wide, who I love.
Oh, okay.
In theory, he should benefit from this system. I'm skeptical given James Franklin's recent track record developing wide receivers, but Ayden Greene has taken on a leadership role. Everyone's very excited about Ayden Greene again, including myself. So we'll see how he does in this system. I am hesitant to go all in on Virginia Tech because I don't know what it's going to look like when they try to scale up Ethan Grunkemeyer.
Right.
This is a line that's a little bit up in the air, and Grunk was very good for Penn State, but he was very good for Penn State in a situation where there were absolutely no stakes whatsoever. That season was a wash after Franklin got fired, after Aller got hurt. So can Grunk step into this new role, be the guy? I don't know if he's going to have to shoulder the whole offense. He's probably going to have to hand it off a lot and look for Luke Reynolds. I think that could work. He easily could be one of those quarterbacks who flies under the radar and ends up with a really, really solid season. He could be much better than that. But the scalability of Grunk is something that I'm keeping my eye on, something that I jotted down here.
Showed a little moxie. Showed a little fire.
Showed a lot of moxie. Oh, yeah.
Thrust into duty. Nearly led a win against the eventual national championship.
I'm not implying that.
Yes,
I'm not implying that Grunk is a liability. I don't think he's a liability at all. I think he's
but the infrastructure at Penn State around him was better
just different
last season. Yeah,
that team had more talent, especially in the backfield.
Here's a bigger picture question, because as I was looking at all of these teams, and something I've already mentioned before, the following phrase or thought kept popping into my mind. We're just like, well, they might be good on offense if this new offensive line works out. If everybody's offensive line is new, does that just cancel everything out?
I think it
and
probably
doesn't matter
does,
anymore, right? Yeah. Like, obviously somebody's going to hit on more portal offensive linemen than somebody else. Louisville might hit on more portal offensive linemen. NC State might hit on portal offensive linemen. But if everybody is kind of starting from a similar point, right? Clemson needs to figure out how to get its offensive line to help open up a running game. Duke needs to figure out how to help, some of its returning offensive linemen adjust to perhaps a new vision for the offense. There are offensive line questions with all of the teams that we've mentioned so far.
Every one of them.
So if they all have questions, does nobody have a question? I don't know. I'm a pretty bad philosopher. That's the kind of thing, right? Like if nobody has a center on the low block, is it really a concern? Now, obviously, our offensive lines are playing against defensive lines, so you got to say, okay, who has the defensive line to take advantage of all of these new offensive lines? But that is something that struck me, where it's just like maybe the ACC, or at least a chunk of the ACC, is going to be wild based on whose edge rusher is popping that day. So who knows?
I think it's a valuable point.
Yeah.
If we look at defense, the situation on defense, I'm not going to say it's unprecedented. It's very unique.
Yeah.
It's very unique because the defensive coordinator is Brent Pry, who was last year's head coach.
Mm-hmm.
From what I can gather, it sounds like this defense is going to look a little bit more like Penn State's defense than Virginia Tech's defense from a year ago.
Right.
There will be some holdovers. There will be some carryovers. But it's going to look a little bit more like what you're used to seeing up at Penn State. They look to me really sound at edge and corner, which is an excellent starting point and definitely a situation that James Franklin's familiar with from his time up at Penn State. They were always good at edge and at corner.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it works out for Brent Pry in this situation because just on like a human level, I have to imagine it's a weird head trip to basically swallow your pride and stay on at the place that fired you now under your former boss. Like, I don't know. That's a different situation.
By the way, the gentleman responsible for the vision for this defense the past few years,
which was not good at all last year. It was not good last year.
No, but what I'm saying is Brent Pry, ultimately, the buck stopped with him. He hired the defensive coordinator. He was in charge of like what kind of defensive tackles Virginia Tech would try and target, and what they would do on third downs, what they would do in the red zone. Like, it came across his desk, and it again comes across his desk. It's as if he appeared on Undercover Boss and just stayed in that pretend role.
Well, I was going to say, we need the Tim Robinson clip. We're all trying to figure out who did this.
Exactly. But like, oh, the CEO is undercover as a mid-level manager, and now he's just more comfortable as a mid-level manager. So I guess he's just going to stay. Yeah.
I flip-flopped on Tech in this schedule like 100 times. At first, I thought it looked good. Then I didn't know. Now all I'm confident saying is that it looks really backloaded. And the toughest games are on the road. Back half of the year, at Clemson, at SMU, at Miami. James is going to have a chance to exercise some of those demons against ranked teams. And we'll see how it goes. There might be some lingering trauma there for Coach Franklin.
Right.
Going up against these teams, all three of which could be ranked when they play later in the season. The win total is 6.5 per Vegas. I am aggressively on the over for Virginia Tech this year. I think the absolute floor is 7-5. And you could probably sell me on 10-2.
So which
serious.
Side of the ball are you more concerned about in this moment?
Right now, I'm more concerned about offense.
Okay. You're more concerned about offense.
Yeah.
So if you are decently okay with their defense, then you're probably eyeballing 4-0, even though it is Maryland in September. And that is a dangerous time to get Maryland.
I am eyeing 4-0 start, yeah.
Okay. So that means to just get to a bowl, they need to win, my math says 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Pitt, at Cal, Georgia Tech, at Clemson, at SMU are all losable games.
Sure.
Yes, we agree?
Yep.
Stanford at home should be a winnable game, but that's a sandwich
game.
Spot between road spots at SMU and Miami.
They'll win that.
And Virginia's at home. You'd rather you have your rivalry game at home.
Yep.
I don't think I'm as confident in the over.
Oh, I'm all in on the over.
I still think that there is likely not enough talent in the trenches in this moment that now suddenly you're going to say, okay, the gentleman to take me from, the 6-6 potential to 8-4 potential, that gentleman needs to be somebody who can beat Georgia Tech in a 27-24 game, or somebody who can beat Stanford in a weird 17-13 game, or somebody who can beat Maryland 24-23, or somebody who can beat Virginia in a rivalry spot. A big game for Virginia Tech, no matter who the head coach is, every single year in the Commonwealth Cup. that can beat Virginia 27-25. And that gentleman who is going to win those high leverage moments in a close fourth quarter spot is Jumbo Jim Franklin.
Jumbo Jim.
I don't know. James Franklin. That's concerning to me, that the talent is not there to overwhelm teams via usually defense for James Franklin teams this year. That they're going to have to win those 50-50 moments against teams in the like bowl, somewhere between 5 and 8 win tier.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm locked in.
I'm in.
Definite improvement from my vantage point. They were definitely going to be improved from where they were these past couple of years.
I'm in.
Okay. I'm in the 6-6, 7-5 zone. Thanks for watching, and thank you for at least considering subscribing to the channel. It means a ton.